Hey YouTube, Kayak DIY here, and right now I'm going to show you just some possible uses for these foam golf balls. You may have seen these probably in other sites, and I know I've seen them somewhere. I know that some other kayakers were using them for stuff, but I happened to be shopping and I came across them and they were on sale for $3 for the whole bag. And I was like, well, maybe I can do a video on this, and maybe I'll just leave it up to some of the subscribers too to mention in the comments what types of uses they think they could use these for. So, some of the more common uses, you can take some paracord, run it through the foam ball, and knot it on the end, and you have scupper plugs. So you can keep a couple of these on your kayak, and they're really cheap scupper plugs. They work well, so that's one relatively obvious use. Another use is, well, hey, you could use it to float some of your fishing items. So maybe you have a pliers, maybe you have a scissors or a knife that you keep on your deck. You could have one of these or one of these with a carabiner clip, and you just clip it onto your scissors. So clip it on, and that way if it goes over the deck, you can quickly retrieve it and it's not going to sink to the bottom. Another use, well, maybe your camera, maybe you have a GoPro or an action camera, and if you didn't buy the floaty back door for it, which you don't have to, there's a bunch of different options. They're relatively affordable. But let's say you already have these on deck, if you already have some of these scupper plugs, you can take a couple of these scupper plugs, put it around the GoPro, and that would float the GoPro. One of these floats the GoPro below the surface so that it keeps it from going to the bottom. Two of them, much better, and will float it. So if you have two of these on there, it will definitely float the GoPro. One of these, not so much. This happens to be an older GoPro. It's a GoPro Hero 3, but that is one of them that I tested with. So I tested it with one of the golf balls, and it did float it just a little bit below the surface. Two of them worked quite well and floated on the surface. So those are just some of the thoughts I had kind of on what I would use them for. You could also, I saw someone ended up drilling a hole through them and put them on their bungees on their kayak. So that way it raised their bungees off the deck a little bit so that they were easily able to be grasped. And also it allowed the bungees to, when they are pulled back and released, they don't slap up against the hull, which, as many of you kayak fishermen are into, or think about, you want to think about sound on the water and whether or not you're making too much noise. And concealed decking is one of the new things that a lot of kayak fishermen are getting into in order to reduce sound. So if you're really into reducing sound, maybe that's something that you would want to do too, is put a few of these on your bungees for your decking. So thanks for watching, and hopefully this gave you a few ideas, and please comment below with what you might use them for. Thanks.